Hey everyone, this is Heather Marshall. I am part of the science team for the Gills Club, and I'm really happy to be sending in this video today during your Gills Club event in February. I hope everyone's having a great time and learning a lot about shark tagging. So I have a couple questions here that the Gills Club would like me to go through so I can teach you guys a little bit about my experience and a little bit about new topics that I'm researching in sharks. So the first question is why I became interested in sharks. Well, my interest actually came from a place of fear. When I was a young girl, I didn't even see, I just heard about the movie Jaws. And just developed this fear of sharks. Every time I'd go swimming, I was always thinking about sharks. And so I decided to start trying to research ways to avoid shark attacks. So I'd read books about shark attack statistics, when not to go in the water, what not to wear, stuff like that. And so I kind of just developed this fascination. And this fascination led to more reading. And I actually read this book called Close to Shore by Michael Capuzzo. Angle it a little bit better there. There we go. And this is about a series of shark attacks that happened in New Jersey in 1916. And it was a great book, very interesting. But what was unique about this book is that he talked about a lot of the specific morphological and physiological adaptations that sharks have for swimming and hunting and reproducing in an aquatic environment. And as I was reading, I just kept stopping and being like, is that true? Is that true about sharks? And so this led to more reading where I was trying to verify these facts, and I was just instantly fascinated with these fish and what they are able to do and how they were adapted to the environment. This led to reading another book called The Secret Life of Sharks by Peter Klimley, Dr. Klimley, and he talked a lot about his history as a shark researcher. And it was the first time I actually thought about the idea that people study sharks for a living, and I instantly became fascinated and started thinking, wow, is this something I'd like to do? It sounds really important conservation-wise, really interesting, different. And then I read this great book, classic, The Lady and the Sharks by Dr. Eugenie Clark. And Dr. Eugenie Clark was the founder of Mote Marine Laboratory in Florida, and I think as a female marine biologist, inspiration to many of my colleagues, certainly a huge inspiration to me. And it was really interesting hearing about how she got started with shark research and got Mote off the ground. And so from there, I just decided that this was something I'd like to pursue. And I'm lucky enough to have another marine biologist in my family, my uncle, Greg Marshall, who created Critter Cam and works with National Geographic. And so I got in touch with him, and he was able to connect me with a local marine biologist, Dr. Greg Scommel. And so I had my first shark internship experience with Dr. Scommel on Martha's Vineyard in 2004. And it was really my first time being out on boats a lot, fishing, touching sharks, seeing sharks. I overcame a lot of fears that summer, but I learned a ton, and I discovered that I really love working with sharks. All right, so my next question is, how did I choose a school to pursue this career goal? Well, all of this happened about halfway through my college career. My first 2 years of college, I always knew I wanted to study science, but I was just pre-med. I was at a small liberal arts school in Portland, Oregon called Reed. And my junior year is when I read all these books and started developing this interest. And Reed didn't offer any sort of marine biology. So I decided that I was going to transfer, and I picked another small liberal arts school in Western Mass called Smith College. And Smith College is an all-women's college. It has an excellent education and really supports women in STEM education. And so that was really a big pull for me. They also offered a marine science minor and were part of a 5-college consortium in Western Mass with other universities in the area, such as UMass Amherst or Hampshire or Mount Holyoke. And so we were able to take courses at all of these 5 colleges. So it really opened up a big world of marine biology classes that I could take. They also offered a great program called Praxis that would fund an undergraduate for 1 summer of a unpaid internship. And so Praxis is what supported me during the summer when I first worked with sharks and worked with Dr. Scommel. When I decided to start pursuing graduate school, I had just gone through an internship at Mote Marine Laboratory where I really developed an interest in physiology and ecological physiology, basically looking at how the shark's body works, how it functions, and how that relates to habitat selection and use. And so I learned about my current advisor, Dr. Diego Bernal, through Greg Scommel at UMass Dartmouth. And he studies morphology and physiology of large pelagic fish, such as large sharks or tuna. And I just really liked his research, so I actively pursued trying to be able to work in his lab. So I really ended up at UMass Dartmouth just because of the work that Dr. Bernal was doing. And it's worked out really well. I love all the opportunities I've had. I was able to complete a master's there, studying the cardiac physiology of high-performance sharks, such as the porbeagle or the mako shark. And it was during my master's that I loved physiology, but I really wanted more of an application to shark conservation. And so that kind of brings me up to the next question that the Gills Club had, which is where I came up with an idea for the research that I'm doing. Well, while working on my master's on cardiac physiology, or how the heart works within these fish, I started learning more about stress physiology, which is another area of research that my lab partners and Dr. Bernal were involved in. And I started sampling blood, going out in the field on different long line trips, and we were amassing this nice stockpile of data about stress physiology in various species of sharks. And I liked the topic. I liked that it was still physiology. You could learn so much more about how the fish work. There's just so much information you can get from drawing blood from a shark, anywhere from reproductive biology to basic biology, stress physiology, basic physiology. But you could use that to understand how sharks respond to fishing gear. And, if there are any differences between species, differences between gear types, just how stressed out the body gets as it goes through either a recreational or a commercial fisheries interaction. And you can use that information also to try to understand if a fish is surviving after their release. So a lot of fisheries management mandates that fish have to be released after they're captured on gear. And the idea is that they're going back to the environment, to their populations to contribute to population growth. But we don't really understand if they're actually surviving or not. It's really hard to assess what we call post-release mortality of fish. And so I liked that you could use current electronic tags as well as blood physiology to try to understand the stress response and overall mortality rates of different species of sharks as they have interactions with fishing gear. And so at the end of my master's, I got involved with some grant writing with both my advisor as well as Greg Scommel, and we were able to get a grant that would fund my PhD, which is studying just that, the stress physiology and mortality rates of two commercially important species of shark, the sandbar and dusky. And so it was through my work doing blood work that I was also able to get involved with the nonprofit OSearch, which works to tag and track white sharks. And so I was able to get involved with Dr. Greg Scommel, being able to go and look at the stress physiology of the white sharks as they go through the capture and tagging process. And so, yeah, that's how I was able to get involved with OSearch and get involved with a lot of the tagging process that we'll be talking about today during our event. And so the last question is, what advice do you have for girls that may want to be pursuing this career? Well, I would say at the very beginning, just get involved however you can. If you're just volunteering, however infrequently, just involve yourself. An unpaid internship. I worked my unpaid internship at Mote Marine Laboratory, and that summer I've been offered a paid internship to work with birds. But I didn't want to work with birds, I wanted to work with sharks, and so I had to figure that out for that summer. But just do everything you can to be involved. My first internship working with Dr. Scommel, I spent most of the summer cataloging his journal articles into an electronic database. not exactly what you think about when you think about pursuing marine biology, but that's all part of it. And I think getting involved in any way you can not only shows you, you know, what most of marine biology is, which is a lot of paper pushing and desk work and data analysis, but it also helps you prove yourself to whoever it is that you're working with, shows them that you're serious, and that'll only bring more opportunities for you. So definitely just find a way to get involved and stay in the game and do what you have to do. And then in terms, if you're really thinking about it as a career goal, you know, looking at universities is definitely beneficial, but also really, you know, do more reading and think about what it is about sharks that you actually want to study. A lot of advisors get many emails, you know, sometimes throughout a week or a day saying, I love your work, I want to study sharks. Well, you have so many people emailing you saying, I just want to study sharks. Find what you love about sharks, what it is their reproduction, is it the way they move, is it the way they use their environment, is it their amazing immune system. Find out what you really like and then read about it, and so then you'll have something to really offer when you go to these advisors and say, I want to study sharks. And knowing what you love about sharks and studying that will only help you, because the grad school process is long and can be quite difficult. And as a big inspiring scientist once told me, her name was Dr. Michelle Heipel when I was at Moat, she told me, you have to love it because sometimes you're going to hate it. And you know, it's just a very challenging field, and there are days when you're second guessing your choices, but you can't let it get you down, and you have to hold on to the little things that really keep you going, such as a great day on the water, or being able to touch a shark, or having a really wonderful publication put out that you're excited about. So yeah, just keep pushing forward, and you'll get there. And it certainly is a very rewarding, very fun, you know, different way to have a career in science. All right, so that's it, guys. Good luck to you all. It was great sharing a little bit of my experience. I hope you guys are having a great, fun day. And you guys are part of Gills Club, so you're already on your way. You're making yourself involved, and you're sharing your passion for sharks. All right, have fun, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.